Hello folks, and welcome to the channel, welcome back. And in this video we're not going to work on cars. There is some other work to be done. And living on a farm brings a lot of extra work, and today we're going to work on the hedges surrounding the farm to get it ready for the fall. And working on a farm on your own isn't always a lot of fun, so you need some help, and my help is always mechanical help. So you probably already know that I do like to restore run-down cars and old trucks, like old rusty, but also old tractors. And when I restore them, it is not that I'm not going to use them. I always put them to use, and it's the same thing for this David Brown. This is the one that I'm using on the farm every so often to cut the hedges. And you're probably going to ask me why I'm not buying a proper new tractor or any new machinery. Well, the point is that these old machines, you can get them very cheap and you can fix them always. They are so simple, and that's what I like them, you know, and they are very reliable. You don't have to deal with all these electronics of today. So this is why I'm always using old machinery. Okay, every so often I have to work a little bit on it to get it going, but in general, these are pretty good. Now, I would be lying if I was to tell you that I only use old machinery. Of course, there are some new elements that I need to use because certain things did not exist at the time. And that is where my Trimmy Evo from Maryland comes in. This is a hydraulic Hedge cutter. In fact, it's like a blade lawnmower, but then on a hydraulic arm, and it's all hydraulic. And I can control it in all directions, so I can cut the top of the hedge, I can cut it on the sides. Very handy. Not 100% precise because the tractor is moving while you're driving it on the grass, so the whole thing gets amplified when the arm is extended, but it's still a very great help. And of course, I have to do some corners still with the manual hedge trimmer, but that's not a big deal. So let me get the tractor ready, and we drive it outside, and then you can have a closer look. You might have seen already videos on how I restored actually the David Brown and the Trimmy, how we fitted it to the tractor. So have a look on the channel, you will see all these videos if you have an interest in it. So let's do the basic checks. If we have sufficient diesel in the tractor, check the oil and the hydraulics on the hedge trimmer, and that looks good. Let's see. I think that is looking quite safe, and you can see the oil is very clean. All right, so let's see if we can get this baby started. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? It's been sitting here like 2 months, and I can just crank it up. Amazing engines, David Brown. So the last thing before I start is greasing up all these nipples. And these are the cutting blades on the Trimmy. And they are really, really sharp. And although I've used them now for quite a while, they still look quite all right. I might actually start to grind them a little bit. So the hedge is pretty long. It's about 600 meters. So if you have to cut it to the left and to the right, that's going to take quite some time. And also on the top, as you can see, it's very high up. So you can hear a lot of noise in this video, and that's not because it's so busy here normally, but there is a big farmers fair going on, and they have these funny joy flights with helicopters, and they show all kind of machinery. So it's a huge place. So the parking is just next door on a piece of land, and that's where the cars are all moving to now. So I apologize for the noise, but it is what it is. Now, as you have seen, cutting goes fairly fast with this. Is it a real nice fine cut that you would like to have in a garden of a house? Not really. It's a little bit rough, but for a farm, this is perfect because there is no time to trim these hedges all the way like you would do it in a normal fancy garden in a house. So let me show you a little bit what we've done so far in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And now I still need to continue on this side here, and then we still need to do the sides. I know this may look a little bit stupid to have a racing helmet on, but there's a lot of debris flying off, and you know, I don't want to have no cuts or anything in my eyes, so I'm wearing my bike helmet. Hey, it works, right? It may look silly on the tractor, but who cares? So the majority of the hedges is now cut, so now it's time to clean up the machine. And you might have seen that I had my helmet on, but you can see these pieces here of wood coming off the hedge, and if that stuff hits you like this thorn right here, it really hurts. So now it's time for the little details, and for that I'm going to use my manual hedge trimmer, which is really battery operated. And here we have the battery. Typically that lasts me for about 12 hours of cutting. It's a bit heavy, but it works. And I got, as you can see, a pretty long blade on my trimmer. This is a, I think about 90 centimeters, so about, what is that, 3 feet? So that goes pretty quick. So let me put that on, and then we start cutting. And you probably wonder why I'm using a manual trimmer for the sides if I'm having this trimmy. Well, the fact is that it's very hard to have a straight cut with the trimmy because the ground is not even. So each time that moves, I'm getting into the hedge, and I don't really want to do this. And this is working fairly fast, so. So now it's time to cut the grass, and there's a whole bunch of grass to be cut. So that's why you don't see me working on cars every weekend. And meanwhile, that chopper keeps on flying over. Done for today.